Everything can be reduced to one action. Do you know which one? Before I spill the beans, I'll ask you to think critically about the theory of focus optimization. It is built upon two hypotheses: importance-based problem solving and the Stafford Effect. So definitely comment your thoughts if you disagree. Okay, so do you know the answer? Everything can be reduced to problem solving. Think about it. When you're watching Netflix, TV, what problem are you solving? You're solving boredom. When you're exercising, what problem are you solving? You're solving bad health, status, or could be boredom. In number 2, on the toilet, what problem are you solving? You're solving digestion consequences. Learning, what problem are you solving? You're solving your problem solving. The goal in life is to continuously solve problems together, because problems are often shared. We are social creatures by nature. There are different types of problems: emotional problems and logical problems, like loneliness and depression, or financial and educational problems. Your perspective, how you look at the world, determines which problems you see, what your goals are, and which problems you will solve next to reach that goal. Your perspective is your problem-solving ability. It determines how fast you get to your goal. The first hypothesis in focus optimization: importance-based problem solving, means increasing your problem-solving ability by solving problems with a higher personal importance, which leads to increased life satisfaction. This is derived from a principle called importance-based learning that I got from a course I Can Study taught by Justin Sun. This principle implies that you reach a higher order of learning by evaluating why a certain concept is important, and this is based on Bloom's taxonomy, which shows the mental states and their effectiveness in processing information. As you see, create is at the top, but it's not really compatible with problem solving. So you evaluate the quality of a problem by analyzing why it is important. So what really defines the quality? This is central to the hypothesis. A high quality problem is a problem to which the solution solves, or at least partially solves, other problems with varying quality. Sort of like a domino effect. The higher the quality, the more reason you create to solve them. It gives personal importance, creates passion. And solving problems that you are passionate about creates life satisfaction. Earning money is an example of a high quality problem because it solves a lot of other problems. That's why many people have a passion for earning money. Now, money does not solve all problems, like emotional problems, and many people create emotional problems during the chase of money. This is all according to your own perspective, because of all of your experiences and genetic design. You will see different importance in different problems. Now, what action do you take to implement this principle and increase your problem solving? That's right, that's self-reflection. Because you identify the quality of the problem and can align them to get to the high quality problems faster and not waste your time on irrelevant problems. You learn through reflection. It can be conscious or it can be unconscious, like during sleep. your brain replays the experiences of the day to learn from it. This helps you to recognize a similar problem and come up with a solution faster. Perhaps even build upon that solution and experiment with a better solution. Have you ever noticed in the shower or when you go to bed that you replay previous experiences, most likely social, where you analyze what happened and imagine different scenarios and how you could improve? That's reflection. For example, there is something wrong, so you reflect and identify two problems: an urge for more connection and health issues. The solution being starting to get fit and go get a high quality boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever you are into. And you can put them in line by starting with training to boost your confidence and status so you can approach more high quality partners. That's why you'll have to learn to enjoy struggling for your purpose, because solving important problems will likely push you out of the comfort zone. If you're not used to approaching strangers and flirting, it will push you out of the comfort zone. Like, if you're not used to training, like running, you will push your comfort zone. That's why pushing your comfort zone is so rewarding, because you solve more high quality problems. That's why you need to rewire your dopamine, so you gain the habit of tackling problems of a higher quality, which will give you more passion and life satisfaction. In the level 1 of self-improvement are great examples of habits that can help you get used to it. To get the most output for your input, you need to maximize your problem solving. We'll start by looking at it in relative terms, which is nicely represented by this formula. Input is action, output is reaction. Because remember, everything is problem solving. We are working with the baseline of reality, a complete generalization, with relative perspective being the efficiency at which you solve problems. This is dependent on 3 factors: reflection, habits, and leverage. These 3 elements are essential for the self-improvement singularity, on which we will expand upon in a future video. Reflection is the key element because it's needed to implement the principle importance-based problem solving. Reflection itself has its own efficiency, which can be optimized using the second hypothesis that I humbly call the Stafford Effect. To understand reflection efficiency, we'll represent it in a simple formula. Here we see that the efficiency is quality times quantity. For the second hypothesis, the Stafford Effect will assume that quality as a constant because it's subjective. The Stafford Effect says that reflection efficiency increases somewhat exponentially by decreasing the time interval between reflecting. To make this more intuitive, we'll visually represent it on a graph. So on the y-axis we have the efficiency of reflection, which is in percentage. On the x-axis we have delta t, and this can be in any time unit. Seconds is what we are taking right now. Could be minutes or hours. So on the x-axis we'll start from the null point and end at infinity. So this is the time between you reflecting now and the next time. So time 1 minus time 2, or time 2 minus time 1. So the relationship would look something like this, where the efficiency decreases dramatically if you increase the time between you reflecting. At at the top here, we have a theoretical maximum that is limited by our own brain processing power. To make this more intuitive, we'll make the axis a bit weird. At the north point, we will put infinity, and at the end of the x-axis, we would put 0. And then the graph would look something like this, where your efficiency increases dramatically when you decrease the time interval between you reflecting. So you reflect as often as possible. Here is the theoretical maximum of our brain processing power, so I think it limits a bit. This means constantly reflecting if you are in the flow state, and getting problems done as efficiently as possible. Perhaps taking a break from the task at hand to reflect deeper for improving your execution. Like how to stop being distracted or clarify why you are stuck and can't progress. For this, awareness is extremely important, because you need to realize what you are doing or what you have done to reflect. Obviously, meditation is very good for training your awareness, or meditation in action, where you do a trivial task and try to be as aware as possible. It's really a weird experience to start increasing your awareness. It's like seeing deeper into your own mind, noticing the strengths and weaknesses of your biological brain, forgetting, remembering, coming up with ideas out of nowhere, falling asleep consciously, like hypnagogia. And some Buddhists even claim to be aware during deep sleep. And this makes me wonder if there is a consciousness singularity, like a black hole, where density of mass becomes infinite. Is it possible to break the space-time barrier with your mind? Perhaps this is what Buddha did. But yeah, reflection takes you a bit out of the moment because you start multitasking. And as we know, multitasking is a myth. But reflection is an investment for future flow, for your perspective. And I believe that it can become a habit that takes little to no effort, so you can take your reflective awareness into the flow state. Focus optimization is the synergy of reflection and problem solving. For focus, we need a goal. A goal is a problem identified through reflection. The goal is a bigger problem that exists out of sub-problems that you need to solve, and this can be in a different order to reach that certain goal. Visually represented by big white dots within the problem continuum field. It's a continuous set of problems that lead to one another. If you follow the line of reaction based on your actions, you go from solving one problem to another, and this can be infinitely small and unidentified. And this makes me think about Mike Tyson. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Life happens. You end up in a situation and don't know where you are. So you reflect on which step to take next. Will you solve problem 1 or will you solve problem 2? The route you choose is determined by your perspective. Reflection serves to calibrate your problem solving towards your goal, which becomes extremely powerful when you do this periodically. The Stafford Effect said that the efficiency of reflection increases quasi-exponentially when you decrease this time interval, because it becomes easier to make a straight line towards your goal. This goes to calibrating on the micro level. This is the really autistic part. For example, you have a problem starting up your computer. The solution now is to press the button But through reflection, you can optimize this little step by adding a motion sensor that automatically turns on your computer and gets you faster to achieving whatever your goal you had on your computer. The straightening of this curve is called focus optimization. This is done by priming with incremental improvements, also known as 1% improvement points, and marginal gains, because big improvements are more likely to be transient. The speed at which you reach your goal is called the flow rate. Here we see that the flow rate for point 1 is higher than for point 2 because you get faster to your goal. The flow rate, or the problem solving rate, is how focused you are. It represents the flow state, which is a very interesting topic. The flow rate is your problem solving ability, also known as your perspective. And this is the absolute perspective. When this is at infinity, you reach your goal without any delay, in one single moment. This is when your efficiency is at 100%. I will expand on the topic of perspective. Just know that there is an absolute and a relative perspective. I've used some mathematical notations, but you can just ignore it if you don't understand it. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. For focus, it's extremely important to have a goal. You need to know what you want to suffer for, because a problem with high personal importance creates more passion and life satisfaction. Solving this problem is not always fun or enjoyable, but it makes you happy and fulfilled. You need a why to drive you. This is focus optimization, increasing your problem-solving ability, thus generating more passion and life satisfaction by increasing your reflection efficiency. Even though these are hypotheses, me and others do recognize the truth behind it. If you disagree, be sure to let me know why. What I just explained was very theoretical and abstract. How do you solve problems and reflect practically? To practically do focus optimization, we need a tool called the prime equation, which we will expand upon in part 2. If there is one thing that I want you to remember from this video, the difference between hard work and smart work is reflection. Stay focused.